things that you say to life for just to play your words. You're all the things I want to remember. Shying away, I'll be coming through with take
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, do you still believe in one another? Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down
I'd like to welcome you all here and thank you here for being here, for taking the time to remember, to celebrate Nate's life. As I talked with Nicole this week, I said, for this service, what would you like me to wear? I said, do you want me to wear a suit? And out of the conversation, she said, well, cosplay was really, well, I don't know if I could pull that one off. I said, the best I could do is make sure my hair looks okay. So it's one of those times where you are able to celebrate and smile, but then also feel the hurt of loss. This is an opportunity for you to make moments for each other when it comes to Nate's life. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Justin to come and share.
On behalf of Nicole, Gary, and Lisa, and Hannah, I want to thank you for taking some time today to honor Nathan and reflect and remember him. I do recognize how difficult this day is for all of us. Words fall short, but the fact that you would make the journey here today says a lot, and something of your love and care for Nathan and for those closest to him. So thank you. My name is Justin, and I was Nathan's cousin. Brought into this family. He was brought into this family as a happy baby and even happier child. I have many fond memories, and in the slideshow ahead of time too, just remembering how happy he was as a little kid, filled with laughter and a bunch of made up jokes that rarely made sense, but he laughed so much. There wasn't a moment that you couldn't hear him laughing as a child. As cousins, we sat at the kids' table. I try not to laugh at these strange, peculiar jokes and keep a straight face, just to kind of help to curb him in his comedy. But we couldn't do it. We couldn't keep a straight face because he would laugh. He would outlaugh all of us. Even if we weren't laughing, he would get us laughing by his laughter alone. Nathan was already laughing so hard at his own joke. As he grew into his teens, we watched several life events that would unfortunately affect him adversely, and the weights of his life here became a challenge that was more than he could bear. I didn't know Nathan well as an adult, and I'm sad for that. However, I'm glad that he had you, Gary, and Lisa, his amazing, supportive, loving, and committed parents. From day one to the last, you were consistent models of what I believe godly parents are. There's no doubt that Nathan knew that you loved him. And I'm glad he had you, Hannah, a sister who loved Nathan and gave him purpose as an older brother to form a bond only the two of you could share. And there's no doubt that your brother knew that you loved him. And I'm glad that he found you, Nicole, a wife and best friend in whom he could share the day-to-day with and have as a continual support and lifter of his head, someone who understood him, cared for him, and loved him unconditionally. I am positive that meant everything to him. There's no doubt that your husband knew that you loved him. This past several weeks have been difficult for us. Today specifically, we failed to find the words to understand why Nathan's time with us on this earth was to end now. But Nathan has never really gone from many of us. He lives on in our hearts and the fond memories we have of him. And I encourage us today to not get caught up in the whys and the what ifs, but to simply remember Nathan and the gift he was to each of us. As we do that, I would like to read some words prepared by Gary, Lisa, Hannah, and Nicole about his life. Nathan was born August 22nd, 1988 in Greensboro, North Carolina. He was adopted by Gary and Lisa Schuyler on March 22nd, 1989, and became Nathaniel Richard Schuyler. I could always remember his gotcha day because it's a day before my birthday, so we shared our birthday and his gotcha day on a regular basis. As I mentioned before, he grew up happy, very outgoing, a very outgoing little boy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. At an early age, he showed signs of being gifted and was always an avid reader. He played soccer and roller hockey and had a talent for music, playing the viola, tuba, and drums. I'm a music major, and I don't know of 3 more different instruments that you could play and be proficient in. At age 9, he welcomed a long-awaited little sister who he had looked forward to for many years. He adored his little sister. Wanting to protect her and teach her many things, Hannah called him Bubba and adored him right back. On Christmas mornings, Nathan always had to go and get Hannah and carry her to the fireplace to see what Santa had brought them. We remember the immense love that he had for Hannah and the joy he derived from making her laugh, which carried over throughout the years. He would frequently come into Hannah's room and get her laughing by doing many of his impersonations. Mom didn't enjoy having to calm Hannah back down to go to sleep, but remembers these nights fondly. There were many laughter-filled years. As her big brother, he continued to protect Hannah and would never let anyone talk bad about her, especially not herself. One of Hannah's favorite memories was from a few months back when he stopped her from putting herself down and reminded Hannah that she is smart and has a valuable voice to be heard. What an awesome, awesome memory. I hope you always remember that. Nathan, or Bubba, were the names of that his family affectionately called him, but in middle school, his friends started calling him Nate. At age 12, Nathan had a head injury and neck injury at school that changed his life forever. This trauma caused nearly a 22-year battle with major depression and CPTSD, which ultimately took his life. This injury caused Nathan to lose all his childhood memories in an instant. He did not even recognize his family at first. His very first memory was waking up in a hospital room, strapped to a backboard, and being told that he may have broken his neck. The next several years were filled with relearning social skills, math, reading, writing, rediscovering friendships, learning coping mechanisms, and trying multiple treatments for his depression and for his CPTSD. Nathan at this time began to discover his love for playing games on computers. Dark Ages, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Dungeons and Dragons became his comfort and his outreach to meet people from all over the world. In high school, he found his lifelong friends, which his family affectionately called the Four Musketeers, which later added one, making them the Five Musketeers. These friends were wonderful for him, getting him out of the house and giving him a break from his computer or in-person shenanigans. During high school years, he came to know that he was not a guy for conventional education. So he left school, aced his GED, and started working at Circuit City. He was very inquisitive and quickly learned anything he set his mind to. His next job was at Staples, where he got another tech job and started traveling to other parts of the state fixing computers. Next came Best Buy and Geek Squad, where he continued honing his skills fixing PCs and Macs. During his time at Staples, Nate decided to have a go at college. One day on campus, he saw someone from his past that he had met through mutual friends in high school and had lost track of for years. Nathan went home and looked her up on Facebook and asked her to meet up for a drink to celebrate her 21st birthday and to catch up. Now, this is where the story gets a little funny. If you ask Nate what his and Cole's first date was, he would say that meetup for drinks was it because he paid for them. If you ask Cole when their first date was, it would be when they went out the next time, and the first one was just two friends catching up over drinks. Although technically he never officially asked her on a date, Nate told his mom after a few months of dating Cole that this one was special and he needed to go slow. Nate and Cole shared many fun times with family and friends. They both worked together at Best Buy for a while. During this time, Nathan discovered that he did not want to be involved with retail anymore, so he and Cole made plans to move to Denver after they found non-retail jobs. Nate went through a contract company and was hired at ProBuild, where he learned to manage cell phone contracts on top of managing and repairing company-owned devices. They waited until Cole found a job at Copper State and Bolt and Nut to move up to Denver. After 5 years with the love of his life, he asked her to marry him. He'd found his person in the beautiful, smart, and kind-hearted woman named Nicole Miller. He planned to ask Cole to be his wife on the day that they moved into their first apartment. He rallied a lot of help and enlisted family and friends to create exactly what he wanted. Now, Nathan had a gift for getting the perfect gift or making the perfect situation happen for others. Of course, Nicole said yes. The next funny part is when you ask the both of them when they got married. Should be a pretty easy date to remember. Nathan and Cole discovered early on in the wedding planning that it would take a year longer than they were hoping to save up for the wedding they wanted. So they had a Spaceballs quick wedding ceremony in their apartment on September 18th, 2015. If you don't know what that reference is, I urge you to watch Spaceballs later on. Then with the money they saved over the next year, they had a wedding in Breckenridge, Colorado, exactly 1 year later on September 18th, 2016. Nathan always said they got married in 2015, but Cole says 2016. Nate had a few years during this time where his depression was not at the forefront. After working for ProBuild for a year, Nathan sought work elsewhere and got a job at Home Advisor. He taught himself to write programs for work. Who does that? That's amazing. And was able to transform one of their systems into something more than it was initially designed for. During this time, he had pretty much tried every antidepressant group of meds that were made. He then started to have electroconvulsive treatment monthly. He did this for a couple of years, but ultimately had to stop them because they began to trigger his PTSD. Trying to find any other options, Nathan looked at transcranial stimulation therapy, but it didn't work. After much research, he started ketamine IV treatments every 2 to 3 weeks. This seemed to work for a while, but already a year into the pandemic, the social isolation had increased his suicidal ideation, and the effects of the ketamine only went so far to ward them off. He continued to work for Home Advisor until November 2021, but he had a driving need to work for a company that helped people and wasn't only out to make a buck. He took the month of December off to take care of himself and started feeling a bit better. He started at Strive in January 2022. He quickly became a valuable, insightful addition to the company, working with their telephone systems, writing programs, and providing unique solutions to help this company further their goals to not only care for the people with kidney disease, but also work to catch it sooner and avoid painful treatments. How awesome is that? Nate had many hobbies that he loved, from watching silly YouTube videos such as the woman who sings songs after many Google translations, watching comedians, playing online games, watching sci-fi shows with Cole, and playing Dungeons and Dragons with Mariah and Paul. In March of this year, he was really struggling again and went to the hospital for his third psychiatric admission in 4 years. Throughout Nathan's life, he valued honesty, compassion, and wanted to make the world a better place to live. Cole, Gary, Lisa, and Hannah watched as he struggled and valiantly tried every known therapy for the horrible disease of depression. They decided it was important for everyone here today to know his story so that maybe it would help someone who is struggling. Hug your friends, your loved ones, and don't put off talking to someone, because like any disease, depression needs treatment, and everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and cared for. As a follower of Jesus Christ, I take comfort and peace in the God that is here that mourns with us. He knows our pain and walks with us through life's valleys, as it says in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I would like to close just this moment in just a short moment of silence and prayer as we reflect on Nathan's life. Would you join me? Father, I thank you so much for my cousin Nathan, for the joy he brought to our family and to so many people's lives here in this room today, for the friend that he was, the husband that he was, the brother that he was, the son that he was. And today, God, as we remember his life, I thank you that we can hold on to these memories and that they are a source of comfort. And I thank you that you are with us in the midst of all of this and the hurt that we're going through today as we remember our friend and our family member. We pray that you would bless each one of us and help us through this time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Our family is very short. Hi, I am Mariah. I'm Nate's sister-in-law, his favorite sister-in-law. I can say that. He told me I'm the favorite. So I think it was about 5 years ago when Nate and Cole were over at our house for another rousing game of Cards Against Humanity, where we were all sitting around talking about what happened after you passed and where you would go and where your spirit or your soul or energy would go. And Nate brought up this, it's a little short essay by Aaron Freeman and read it to us. And we all loved it. And we're like, yes, exactly. We want that read when we go. And so we promised each other we would. So Nate, I'm fulfilling your promise. I hate that I have to, but this is for you. You want a physicist to speak at your funeral. You want the physicist to talk to your grieving family about the conservation of energy, so they will understand that your energy has not died. You want the physicist to remind your sobbing mother about the first law of thermodynamics, that no energy gets created in the universe and none is destroyed. You want your mother to know that all your energy, every vibration, every BTU of heat, every wave of every particle that was ever her beloved child remains with her in this world. You want the physicist to tell your weeping father that amid energies of the cosmos, you gave as good as you got. At one point, you hope the physicist would step down from the pulpit and walk to your broken-hearted spouse there in the pew and tell her that all the photons that ever bounced off your face, all the particles whose paths were interrupted by your smile, by the touch of your hair, hundreds of trillions of particles have raced off like children, their ways forever changed by you. As your widow rocks in the arms of a loving family, may the physicist let her know that all the photons that bounce from you were gathered in the particle detectors that are her eyes, that those photons created within her constellations of electromagnetically charged neutrons whose energy will go on forever. And the physicist will remind the congregation of how much all of our energy is given off as heat. There may be a few fanning themselves with their programs as he says it. And he will tell them that the warmth that flowed through you in life is still here, still a part of all that we are. Even as we mourn, we continue the heat of our own lives. And you'll want the physicist to explain to those who have loved you that they need not have faith. Indeed, they should not have faith. Let them know that they can measure, that scientists have measured precisely the conservation of energy and found it accurate, verifiable, and consistent across space and time. You can hope your family will examine the evidence and satisfy themselves that the science is sound and that they will be comforted to know your energy is still around. According to the laws of conservation of energy, not a bit of you is gone. You're just less orderly. Aaron Freeman.
I'm glad Mariah read that because I'm not the physicist. I'm not gonna. I played football. That doesn't fit where I'm at. Today we are sharing with each other about Nate's life. Ups and downs, good and bad. You have experiences that you've each had with him to remember. So when Nicole and I talked this week, we talked about giving you an opportunity to be able to share your memories of Nate. So I want to direct to you the cards that you should have picked up when you came in. If you didn't grab one, we'll make sure you get one. There are also pens at different places throughout the chapel. But what we want to be able to do is give you an opportunity to share that memory by writing it on the card. We're going to play 2 songs, and it's during those 2 songs, we're going to invite you to take a few moments to think and then write them down. Maybe it's a memory that only you and Nate shared. Maybe it's even a memory that you shared with him while playing Dungeons and Dragons, or as Nicole said, nerding out while you did different games, that you're able to share those family moments, maybe the simple quiet moments. Maybe it's a moment that no one even else knows about that you get to share with Nate's family. Now, here's the truth. Family also knows there are some of you here as support. And so maybe you don't have a memory. That's okay. Maybe you want to write an encouraging note to Nate's family. This is an opportunity for you to be an encouragement and care to them. There's a memory basket placed up here. And so what we would like to do is be able to give you the 2 songs to write out your memory and then bring it up here and place it in the basket so that when the family is ready, they'll be able to read these memories as an encouragement. So again, during the next 2 songs, we're going to encourage you to do that. Now, the truth is we also know that there are people watching online from different places throughout the nation. And so we'd like to invite you to be able to go to the memorial wall at the funeral home's webpage, and there you can post your memory and share it with Nate's family as well. So during the next 2 songs, I want to invite you to write out your memory and then please bring it and place it up in the basket up front.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
The ship is taking me far away from the memories of the people who care if I live or die. The starlight, I will be chasing a starlight until the end of my life. I don't know if it's worth it anymore. Hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold you in my arms. My life, you electrify my life. Let's conspire to ignite all the souls that would die just to feel alive. I'll never let you go if you promise not to fade away, never fade away. Our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations, and our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations. Hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold you in my arms. Far away, the ship is taking me far away from the memories of the people who care if I live or die. I'll never let you go if you promise not to fade away, never fade away. Our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations, yeah. Our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations. Hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold.
And if you didn't get enough time to finish your memory card, please feel free to place it in the basket during the reception to follow. I appreciate Justin sharing Psalm 23 because David was a musician, he was a poet, he was a warrior, and he wrote Psalm 23 after the loss of a son. And so it speaks to the loss that each and every one of you are walking through today. But I do have to say that Nicole and Mariah were very kind to me when I met with them this week, because normally I'll wear, like pastor stuff when you meet with people, and we met and I had a t-shirt on and I've got sleeves done up and I'm kind of sitting there doing this kind of thing. And she looks at me, she goes, "We hate tattoos." I was like, it's my people right here. So I wanted to thank you for being so kind. Nate's family would like to thank you all for coming and celebrating his life. You are invited to join them for a reception immediately to follow right here in this room. There's going to be food and drink for you to be able to share with one another, because that's truly where you get to enjoy the moments together of sharing about Nate's life. But here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want to encourage all of you here today to remember Nate's family, because they're going to need your love, care in the following days, weeks, months, and years ahead. See, most of us will return back to everyday living. Their everyday has changed. And so you need to be there to care for them as they walk through this. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to close with a song, and then we'll have the reception.
Hear the drums echoing tonight. She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. Gotta take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never The wild dogs cry out in the night as they grow restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. We're gonna take some time to do the things we never hurry boy, she's waiting there for you. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains.